The cheapest ring on my body cost 100. Yeah. I got about $1 million worth from Joe's. Look, I made a quarter up in London. Yeah. Then I bought 20 chops for the hood. Look.
Hello guys. Because of the impact of this video that I'm about to make, I didn't feel like it was right for me to give my proper intro. But as you can see from the title, this video is a story time of what could have been the last days, minutes, or seconds of me living on this earth. Before we get into that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow all my social medias. Everything will be in the description below. And let's get right into it. So I want to say, so I'm gonna give you a little backstory. Then we're just gonna go into the video. If it gets too long, I'll just break it up in parts. But yeah. So a couple months ago, I have noticing like a change in my body, and I didn't like normal people, maybe not normal people, but me personally, I just didn't take it like I needed to, get checked out or go to the doctor, hospital, or anything like that. So I just, left it alone. But as the months got closer to the date of, I'm gonna tell you that in a few. But as the months get closer to that date, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And me, like, I don't really like hospitals. I don't really like going to the doctors. Just that, that feeling of going to the hospital, shit like that. But so the symptoms I was receiving or getting, I guess, would be like I was just always thirsty, and I was always using the restroom, and still didn't take nothing, consider anything like that. So yeah, just for doing that couple months, it reached up to me. Then actually a month before I actually went in the hospital, I did check my sugar, my blood sugar, I guess, and it was just too high to read. But then again, like I said, like that's another sign where you like, okay, you might want to get that checked out. But me, think I'm Superman and I can't get sick or anything, any health problems can never happen to me. That's what it was. And I still didn't get nothing like checked out or anything like that. But after talking to my mom, whatever, I did end up scheduling a doctor's appointment to, let her know what's going on and my symptoms and stuff like that. But I ended up going late, so I had to get a later date. I'm not even sure what date that was, but fine. So about like 2 weeks later, going through the same thing of being thirsty all the time and using the restroom. It was one day, it was on a Wednesday. I want to say March 3rd. March 3rd, which is like a couple weeks ago. Today's the 29th. Yeah, I was driving to work, and I just noticed, even just like before, just me getting ready for work, I just felt like, yeah, today's gonna be a long day. Like I already felt like my energy was just getting drawn and getting less and less. So I'm on my way to work. I'm driving. It's about 35-minute drive, and I'm almost there. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. So I ended up turning around, and I ended up going home. But first, I stopped off to get a ginger ale. Ginger ale is like the remedy of black people. But whatever. Ended up getting me a ginger ale. Went back home, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down and get some rest for KCB. So this is when like it started happening. So I drink the ginger ale, I threw that up. About like 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I don't normally throw up, but what's going on? Fine. I ended up getting some soup, whatever the case may be, some oodles and noodles, if you know what I mean, chicken flavor. So I started eating that, threw that up. It was like, okay, all right, something is really happening. I'm drinking water, threw that up. So basically everything I eat or drink from that time period when I came back home, I was just throwing up everything. And then like I could just feel my energy just getting drawn. It's just like I couldn't really move. And then it came to the point where like I had got a bin to throw, to vomit inside. I'm sorry for people. But to vomit inside. And it came to the point where I didn't even have enough energy to even do that. Like, so basically I was just like throwing up like to the side or whatever the case would be. I just didn't have the energy to like, oh, let me grab, the bin and throw it in. So that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta go to the hospital. I gotta get something done. So I called my mom. She comes and gets me. And yeah, so I'm in the car, but she's like looking at me. Like I see her looking at me, but like I said, I just went through all of this. Like I'm like my energy is like really low. Like I can't even like really move. Like she had to carry me to the car or whatever. So we went to urgent care. So urgent care, we told them what's going on, whatever the case may be. And yeah, they checked my sugar actually. I guess obviously doctors and niggas, they know, what's happening to me, give them symptoms, whatever. So I checked my sugar and it was like over 1,000. So like, if anybody doesn't know, like your blood sugar is really supposed to be like 70 to like 120, maybe 150-ish. That's like the normal range. Mine was over 1,000. So like, just think about it. Like, if the normal is 150-ish and mine is at 1,000, like that's a problem. Like something's going on. So when that happened, they called the ambulance like right away. So they came and got me from the urgent care. And I went to the hospital. Yeah, so I went to the hospital, and this is where life like really changed for me. Like I really got like extremely emotional. I asked my mom if I had cancer, because when I finally looked at myself, my mom later told me this, but when I finally looked at myself, I haven't looked at myself in like a couple of hours, whatever the case may be, like in the mirror, and I look like drawn out. If you guys seen the movie, I can't really remember the movie, but it's the one that 50 Cent plays like the football player, and then he got cancer and like his skin, he started losing like hella weight, and his skin just like looks very drawn out, like a zombie type stuff. That's basically how I look. If anything, I'm gonna find the picture and put it in the video. That's basically like how I look. Just imagine me like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, wow. So I asked my mom, like, yo, do I have cancer? And like she started crying. It's just like, damn, like, cause she didn't know neither. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand. Like, I'm actually my mother, like a woman, like women are like emotional or whatever. So I'm like, that made me emotional. But anyway, back to the hospital. So boom, back to the hospital, and that like really changed everything. Like I was like extremely emotional. They kept telling me, oh, that's extremely high. I could have been in diabetic coma, things like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like all of these months led up to this one moment right here. And they're telling me how I could have died, and just imagine like hearing that from like a doctor, like, yo, if you would have waited, this is exactly what he told me. He said, if I would have waited to like the next day, like in the afternoon, I would have like went in diabetic coma. And because I live by myself, no one has a spare key, and whatever case it be, no one would have known until like a couple days from now. I'm pretty sure my mom would have came up to me, but like it would have been like a couple days for someone to come see me, whatever. So it was like that was like really scary, and it's just like I just became like really emotional, man. Just like, wow. Just imagine if like me think I'm Superman again, and like, nah, I can wait another day, and then like kind of find out that could be my last time. But yeah, so back to the hospital. So I'm in the hospital, I get admitted, whatever. Put you on the IV as usual, run your vitals, whatever the case may be. And they said that I lost 34 pounds in 3 days. So this goes back to when I'm saying like how my body, like no energy, drawn out, things like that. That was the process of like all of this. Like I was just losing weight, not eating, throwing up everything. That's what the 34 pounds came from. So like, it was just like really scary to hear that, man. And it's like, this is exactly why, like, me personally, I know it's some people too, but like me personally, I don't like hospitals. I don't like to hear like things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's scary, like to hear that, So, what happened after that? Yeah, so basically, I'm getting treated for diabetes currently, right? I haven't 100% been diagnosed yet, because everything is still new, so they want to, run some tests and everything, make it official tissue. So I'm not 100% diabetic, but I'm getting treated for it. So that means that I have to check my sugars 4 times a day. I gotta take insulin, things like that. I gotta limit my snacks and what I eat, and low on carbs, low on sugar, foods, things like that. So this is like life changing to me. But yeah, so that's what could have happened. You know, not really how I didn't know how I wanted to do this, or I was gonna get emotional saying this story. Because every time I do say, I do get emotional. But I guess this time it's been some time, and I gotta, I lived up to it and things like that. But it is a yeah, so it is a drastic change in my life, and if I am, you know, diagnosed, then I mean I gotta do this for the rest of my life. But anybody that's concerned, I am better now. I did gain some more weight from the 34 pounds that I did lose. Yeah, I'm fine. I got my energy back. I'm more alive. I'm more agile, things like that. I'm actually like as if none of this really happened. It's just the minor setback of this. If I am diagnosed, I gotta check my sugars and take my insulin and watch what I eat, things like that. Which is nothing, crazy. It could have been worse. Like I said, what could have happened? It could have been worse. So I'm just, blessed to be here, glad to be here, live my life for another day. Yeah, so if you like this story time, want me to do more story time, because I have a whole lot of story times, just comment below. You can just DM me on my social medias. Everything will be in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see you when I see you. Peace.